The folks from Kansas have talked with me numerous times about energy. And so I'd like to take an opportunity to recognize Mr. Huelskamp from Kansas to talk about what's going on out there and that great American state's focus on American energy independence. So I recognize the gentleman from Kansas.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak today. I'm very interested in learning what continues to happen every day in our other states, particularly our state to the south. And being from the state of Kansas, I'd like to talk a little bit about the coal industry. And you might say, well, Kansas and the coal industry, what's that have to do with Kansas? I'm a farmer by trade, and we produce a lot of corn and wheat and soybeans and many other things. But in order to produce those, we need a lot of electricity. And number of decades ago, we built a coal-fired electrical power plant in western Kansas and generates electricity that covers 6 to 7 states. About 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, we said, you know, we need more electricity. Our economy continues to grow. We need more electricity. And we begin the process in western Kansas to expand our electrical production. We need more electricity. If the economy is going to grow, and I'm sorry to say now the economy is not growing very quickly under this administration. And let me tell you why. It's called overregulation. It's called litigation. It's called the attempt by this administration and others outside that are working together with this administration to stop the generation of more electricity, more energy of various types. We need more energy. We need more American energy, and we can produce that. We're trying to do that right now in western Kansas. We're trying to produce more jobs. This administration and folks close to this administration, and this is hard to believe, they have said that you want 1,900 construction jobs, and you want to create 1,900 jobs in western Kansas to grow your ability to produce American electricity. And you know what the answer is from this administration? You know what the answer is from environmental groups? You know what the answer is? They said, no, we don't want your jobs. We don't want 1,900 jobs in western Kansas. I have rural communities all across western Kansas, and they depend on this power. And actually, if they don't have more electricity, we will begin to see brownouts in less than a decade in a rural area. And we're trying to grow our production of energy, of coal-fired electrical power. And this administration says, no, we're going to sue you. The EPA says, no, we're going to stop you with new regulations. Various outside groups are throwing lawsuits. It's death by litigation. And that's not only stopping our power plants, it's stopping power plants all across the country. Now, it's hard to understand. I talk to my constituents and say, well, why can't we have more electricity? Who's opposed to this? Who's opposed to jobs? Somebody in Washington is opposed to jobs. There are regulators all over this country, particularly in our nation's capital, that says, no, I would rather you pay $5 gasoline. No, I'd rather you have higher electricity rates. If we don't generate more electricity in my state, in western Kansas, they anticipate 40 to 50% increase in electricity rates. But by the time that would happen 4 or 5 years from now, they'll say, well, why didn't you do something about it? Which is why I'm here tonight, because we have to do something about it now. Our competitors across the way in China, I believe they figured out, they recognize you need more energy of whatever form. We need more energy. And we need to produce more electricity. We need to produce more diesel fuel, more gasoline. We need all the above strategy. But when you have an administration and a culture in Washington that's dedicated to limiting access to energy, when you have an energy secretary that suggests Americans need to pay $5 a gallon on gasoline, our energy secretary suggests we need to pay $5 a gallon on our gasoline. What is going on? We need to pay more? No, we need to pay less. And the way we do that is not having a brand new policy, a new program in Washington. No, we need to let American entrepreneurs continue to do what they've been doing for years, and that's producing a needed product called energy. And we can produce it in many ways in Kansas and all throughout the Midwest, all throughout the nation. But when you have this narrow agenda of those in Washington that have dedicated their lives to make certain that our electrical prices go up, our energy prices of all form go up, that's going to cost us more unless we can turn on the entrepreneurs. Actually, there was a report from our U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and actually, I know there are folks in this town that get upset when you talk about people that actually create jobs, because it's actually the private sector that creates jobs. But they estimate there are 351 stalled energy projects across America. and the one in western Kansas with Sunflower Electric Cooperative is just one of those. But there are 350 others, and they estimate that if those stalled energy projects would move forward, that would create 2 million jobs in the short term, just in construction. But long term, that would create affordable energy to allow us to compete across the world. Because frankly, as our energy prices increase, our ability to compete and export and compete with China and many other countries is incredibly diminished. So we must. We are responsible here in this chamber for freeing up entrepreneurs. We're responsible to forcing the U.S. Senate. We are responsible to forcing the U.S. Senate to come to the table and actually do what they talked about doing. I don't think there's a member of Congress that was home in the House or Senate. You know what I like? I like high energy prices. Nobody said that. No, they went home and said, we're doing everything we can. They're not doing everything we can. The U.S. Senate is not doing a single thing to help this along. And the administration is doing everything they can to make sure our energy prices go up. And that's so frustrating to me because we do have an easy answer. That's let American entrepreneurs, American energy companies, and they're basically small businesses. In my district, heavily dependent on agriculture, but the second largest industry is the oil and gas industry. And we must continue to encourage them and to move forward, and we'll do that. I appreciate the opportunity to visit about this tonight. It's something I'm very passionate about because the people in this House that are working forward, we cannot be blamed for high energy prices in the future because we're doing what we can to do today. So I'll yield back my time. Thank you for the opportunity.